This page is the front cover of Saturn Fan Magazine, featuring artwork of Sakura, Chun-Li, and Ryu from the Street Fighter series. The main focus appears to be on the game Doukyusei 2, highlighted with a title announcement and first screen reveals, described as a major scoop for the issue. There's also a large special feature on Virtua Fighter 3, promising new screens and facts. The cover mentions features or coverage on several other titles, including Street Fighter Alpha 2, Fighting Vipers, Sakura Wars, Enemy Zero, Galaxy Fraulein Yuna, El Hazard, and Nights into Dreams. An RPG special feature covers games like Albert Odyssey Side Story, Dark Savior, Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse, Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Langrisser 2Y. Other games mentioned are Doukyusei If and Tokimeki Memorial. This page is a striking advertisement for Fighting Vipers on the Sega Saturn. It features dramatic artwork of a monstrous blue creature, likely Raxel in his transformed state, hinting at the game's intense fighting action. The ad announces the game is coming soon for Sega Saturn, with a release date of August 30th, 1996. It lists the software price at 6,800 yen and includes the familiar Sega Saturn logo and a tagline urging players to expect the best. The advertisement also mentions the game's presence at the Tokyo Game Show 96, held that August. This page serves as the comprehensive table of contents, outlining the wealth of information packed within this issue. The lead features highlight exclusive scoops on dating sims like Doukyusei 2, alongside fantasy RPGs such as Dragon Master Silk, and simulation titles like Sotsugu Crossworld and Photogenic. The Sega special feature dives deep into upcoming and popular titles, including a look at Virtua Fighter 3 with new screens, further details on the just advertised Fighting Vipers, the arcade sequel Virtua Cop 2, and the highly anticipated Sakura Taisen. An RPG special feature showcases major titles like Albert Odyssey Gaiden, Langrisser 2I, Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse IV, and Lunar, Silver Star Story. The continued report section provides updates on various games, including Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Policenauts, while the strategy section offers guides for games like Nights into Dreams. The news section introduces recent releases like Dark Savior and Earthworm Jim 2. The Kingdom of Saturn section focuses on reader content, rankings, and data analysis, giving insight into what players are buying and enjoying. The illustration on the right features characters from Street Fighter Alpha 2, setting the theme for the issue's cover. Meanwhile, the left side features an advertisement for the unique 3D puzzle game Zoop, announced for simultaneous release on both Sega Saturn and PlayStation. This page features an exclusive scoop, headlining the major news that the hugely popular dating simulation game, Doukyusei 2, is finally confirmed for a port to the Sega Saturn. The page is dominated by a vibrant illustration showcasing the main cast of characters from the game, featuring the male protagonist surrounded by the various high school girls he can pursue. The text confirms that this is indeed the highly anticipated Saturn version, and includes screenshots or character portraits, some of which offer a glimpse into the romantic interactions the game is known for. This is a big deal for fans of the series looking to experience this renowned title on Sega's console. This page is an exciting showcase for the highly anticipated Sega Saturn port of the classic dating simulation game, Doukyusei 2. The headline declares, look, these are screenshots of the Saturn version of Doukyusei 2, and boldly claims the high-quality visuals exceed Doukyusei If. The page is filled with large illustrations and actual screenshots from the Saturn version. We see a surprised-looking protagonist, a romantic kiss scene, and character portraits, including Sakura-chan, whose graphics are specifically praised as high. There are also environmental screenshots showing the school building and the gym. The text delves into the game's structure, explaining it's divided into two parts. A prologue set during a 6-day summer break featuring 9 potential love interests, and a main story with 6 girls. The game's basic flow is described as similar to the original, but the Saturn version includes the new prologue segment as a command-based adventure part before the main story. The article emphasizes the leap in visual quality on the Saturn compared to the PC and FX versions, confirming that fans can expect a gorgeous rendition of the game on Sega's console. This page continues the deep dive into the Sega Saturn version of Doukyusei 2, focusing on the crucial element of any dating sim, the heroines. The headline proclaims the main heroine is a girl like a younger sister who has lived with the protagonist for 10 years. The page features stunning artwork and profiles of several key characters, Dominating the left side is the main heroine herself, Yui Narusawa, depicted with a text bubble saying, "Big Brother," emphasizing her close, familial relationship with the player character. Her detailed profile highlights her unique bond and history with the protagonist, establishing her as a central figure. The page also introduces other prominent female characters with their portraits and brief descriptions, including Mizuno Yumi, Shinohara Izumi, Katu Minori, Minamikawa Yuko, and Maijima Karen. These profiles give players a glimpse into their personalities and relationships with the protagonist. On the right, a section showcases all 12 potential girls appearing in the game, providing smaller portraits and short summaries for each, such as Misako Narusawa, Misuzu Katagiri, and Kozue Suzuki, among others. This confirms the wide array of romantic options available and gives a quick overview of the full cast players will encounter. It's clear the Saturn port is pulling out all the stops to fully introduce the memorable cast of Dukyusei 2. This page provides an in-depth look at the upcoming Sega Saturn port of Dukyusei 2 through interviews with the development team. The headline asks what the Saturn version will be like. Diving straight into the details, featured prominently is an interview with producer Toshihiko Tododa, discussing the decision to port the game and the goal of staying faithful to the source material. He touches on the challenges of adapting the game, particularly regarding potential new original characters for the Saturn version, and working with the original artist's style. Below, the page introduces members of the development team from Flightplan, Chief Director Akira Osawa, and main programmer Hidemichi Okawa. They share their passion and intentions for the Saturn port, emphasizing their aim to enhance the game's sentimental adventure feel. They also address the technical hurdles involved, such as optimizing performance and handling the significant amount of data, including the extensive scenario text and numerous CG images. The developers express confidence in overcoming these challenges to deliver a high-quality port. The page includes illustrations and a photo of the development office, giving a glimpse behind the scenes. This page features interviews with the Dukyusei 2 Saturn team on porting goals, potential new content, and tackling technical challenges like data size and loading times. This page reveals the first public look at Dragon Master Silk for the Sega Saturn, highlighting it as a 3D comical RPG. The page features vibrant character artwork, introducing the protagonist Silk and her companions, alongside a screenshot of the game's 3D dungeon exploration and battle system. Silk is described as a small and cute girl who is the main character. The game promises a lively and comical adventure as a party of 4 cute girls explores 3D dungeons. Development information and the game's genre are also included. This page continues the look at Dragon Master Silk, focusing on the main cast and gameplay features. We are introduced to the protagonist, Silk, a young Golden Fox user and magic user who, despite her small stature, is the leader. She is joined by 3 elemental spirit dragons, aka a fiery and passionate fighter, a Fio, an idealistic and sometimes self-conscious magic user, and Ki, a relaxed and happy-go-lucky priest. The page shows off stunning character artwork for each girl. Gameplay elements discussed include the battle system, noted for its smooth pacing and auto-battle feature, and the many fun and comical events players will encounter, with the Saturn version promising a significant increase in event volume. Finally, we get a preview of some of the monsters that will challenge the party within the 3D dungeons. The next page delves into Graduation Crossworld, a simulation game expanding on the popular Graduation series. This title brings back favorite characters from the first 2 games and introduces 2 completely new girls, making for a total of 14 potential companions. You play as Shinju Hayato, a high school student driven by his dream of flying. The core gameplay involves exploring Yokohama's Naka Ward, where you'll encounter the various girls and build relationships through engaging conversations and events, aiming to find someone who truly understands your aspirations. The page highlights the diverse personalities of the girls and features character art for Yokoyama Megumi and Nishikawa Masaki, 2 of the game's prominent figures. Screenshots show key dialogue scenes and locations within the city, giving a taste of the interactions you'll experience. This page showcases the upcoming love simulation game, Photogenic, which puts players in the role of a photographer. The goal is to capture the beauty and expressions of 3 different girls through photography, while navigating a bittersweet romance leading up to a photo contest within a year. The page features key art of the protagonist and the 3 main heroines you'll be interacting with. It highlights how the girls' expressions change based on the player's actions, adding depth to the simulation. Character designs are handled by Sugiyama Genshu. Detailed profiles are provided for each of the 3 girls: Ayano Huju, who loves drawing, Megumi Sakurai, who is cheerful and energetic, and Izumi Orihara, a shy and introverted reader. Each profile includes an illustration, a brief personality description, and a screenshot featuring the character in the game environment. The screenshots shown are noted as being from the PC-98 version of the game. This page is a Sega power-up report focusing on the highly anticipated fighting game, Virtua Fighter 3. It announces a significant release of new screenshots and details, highlighting the game's development progress at AM2 Lab. The page features the Virtua Fighter 3 logo, stunning character renders including Akiyoi Uminakoji and Akira Yuki in his distinctive sumo attire, and an action-packed in-game screenshot showing Wolf Hawkfield battling Jeffrey McWild. Key points mentioned include new fighting techniques and the impressive visual effects like after images. There's also a compelling interview segment with AM2 lab head, Yu Suzuki, discussing the game's development reaching its final stages and hinting at the depth and balance of the gameplay. The page builds excitement, promising a wealth of new visuals on subsequent pages. The next page delves deeper into Virtua Fighter 3. Showcasing new characters and their signature techniques. This section is a character-specific new screenshot and technique check, revealing install techniques and a wealth of new special moves. The page features Atui Umenokoji, detailing her Aiki Jujutsu style, with screenshots demonstrating various throws, body strikes, and takedowns. Developer comments highlight her inherent charm. Akira Yuki, the protagonist known for his Bajikwan, is shown executing new moves including a jumping charge strike and close-range attacks, indicating new strategies for his playstyle. The developer notes Akira is expected to be a very powerful character in this iteration. Pai-chan's section covers her Mian Quan and Inseiken techniques, displaying new punch and kick combinations and a powerful ground throw. The developer speaks highly of Pine's speed and her ability to execute fast combos. Finally, the new character Takarashi is introduced. His sumo style is evident in screenshots showing powerful pushes, slaps, and throws. The developer describes his gameplay as straightforward and impactful, relying on raw power. The page provides a great look at the expanded movesets and the diverse fighting styles arriving in Virtua Fighter 3. This page continues the deep dive into the characters of Virtua Fighter 3, focusing on Lao Chan, Jeffrey McWild, Kagemaru, and Wolf Hawkfield. Lao Chan, the master of Tiger Swallow Fist, is shown executing rapid combos like Thunderfire and powerful throws such as Dragon Screw. Developer comments highlight his complex and varied techniques. Jeffrey McWild brings his brutal Pancratium style, featuring devastating strikes like Rising Hammer and Hellhammer. Alongside throws, the developers emphasize his balanced approach between throws and strikes. Kagemaru, the ninja practicing Hagakureryu Jujutsu, demonstrates tricky moves, including throws like Izuna drop and evasive techniques like instantaneous appearance. He's described as a challenging character with diverse options. Finally, Wolf Hawkfield showcases his professional wrestling prowess, focusing heavily on throws like the Dragonfish throw and strikes such as the Tomahawk chop. The developers note his gameplay is heavily centered around his powerful grappling techniques. The page gives a solid preview of the expanded and refined movesets for these returning fighters. This page continues the deep dive into the cast of Virtua Fighter 3, showcasing more returning fighters and their refined techniques. First up is Sarah Bryant, the Jeet Kune Do expert. She's highlighted for her balance and ease of use, making her a great choice for beginners. You see screenshots of signature attacks, like her quick spinning heel kick and versatile low spinning kick. Next is the master of Drunken Fist, Shun Dai. Described as the oldest character, his unique style allows for unpredictable attacks from various ranges. Key moves featured include the Drunken Immortal Hand and techniques executed from his turnaround stance, along with his signature drinking mechanic, which adds layers to his strategy. Jackie Bryant, Sarah's brother, and also a Jeet Kune Do fighter, is presented with moves like the powerful full swing bar and the effective elbow knuckle kick. Developer comments suggest he's another user-friendly character with plenty of cool techniques. Finally, the page features Lion Rafal, who utilizes the praying mantis style. He's noted for his strong close-range offense, with moves like the mountain climbing back kick and descending back kick. His style is described as unique, offering a different approach compared to others. The page closes by announcing that Virtua Fighter 3 is nearing operation, indicating its imminent release. This page kicks off a deep dive into Fighting Vipers, promising a comprehensive guide covering the fundamental system, character specifics, and new features for the Sega Saturn version. The article emphasizes that Fighting Vipers uniquely combines flashy visuals with deep strategic gameplay. A major focus is on the game's core mechanics, starting with the concept of armor, which protects characters' bodies and can be broken, significantly altering gameplay and strategy. The page also highlights the absence of ringouts. Instead, the enclosed arenas feature walls that become central to combat, allowing for wall combos and special attacks. Several checkpoints detail key techniques. Taking hits is a mechanic allowing players to absorb mid-air blows to potentially recover or counter. The strategic use of walls is explored, explaining how they enable unique offensive and defensive options like wall combos. The guard and attack system is discussed, detailing how different attacks interact with guarding and armor. Recovery options after being knocked down are explained, emphasizing directional roles and strategic wake-up choices. Finally, the dash attack is presented as a fast, armor-breaking offensive tool usable by all characters. Screenshots illustrate these mechanics, showing characters like Grace and Bon executing moves and interacting with the environment. The article positions Fighting Vipers as a fresh take on the 3D fighting genre, leveraging its unique armor and wall systems to create a distinct tactical experience. This page dives straight into the roster of Fighting Vipers, giving us a rundown of the 8 core characters featured in the game. Each character section includes their portrait from the player select screen, a brief description of their fighting style and notable moves, and several screenshots showcasing gameplay and specific techniques. We get insights into fighters like Tokyo, who excels at multi-hit combos and wall tactics despite low single-hit damage. Bon is highlighted for his powerful grabs and impactful strikes, while Sandman is presented as the king of throws, with a vast array of grappling options. Grace is noted for her accessible combos and effective basic attacks, making her suitable for newcomers. The guide then covers the more unique characters. Picky, the skater who uses his board for tricky attacks. Raxel, the guitarist whose fighting style is as flashy as his instrument. Honey, who surprises with powerful strikes and devastating air combos. And Jane, a hard-hitting fighter relying on strong single attacks and armor-breaking techniques. The descriptions give players a taste of each character's strengths and recommended strategies, reinforcing the game's focus on varied fighting styles and strategic use of the armor and wall mechanics discussed previously. The next page reveals the exclusive features of the Sega Saturn version of Fighting Vipers, starting with the announcement of 6 distinct game modes, including the standard arcade and versus modes. New to the home version are training mode for honing skills, team battle mode which allows for multi-character battles, playback mode to watch saved match replays, and a backup record mode to track statistics. Most striking is the sudden appearance of a completely new, Saturn-exclusive character, Pepsi Man. This bizarre addition, described with a metallic body and the iconic Pepsi logo, is showcased with his own player select screen portrait and various action shots, his fighting style and power being entirely unknown. The page also confirms that Mahler, the formidable boss character from the arcade version, is fully playable in the Saturn release. Screenshots illustrate Mahler's unique abilities, noting his formidable strength. Finally, the magazine provides an update on the game's development status, confirming that the dynamic wall-breaking mechanic is fully implemented, and highlighting that the game is nearing completion, promising a polished experience with its unique features. The next page of the Sega Power-Up Report dives into the details of the upcoming Virtua Cop 2, focusing on the middle stage, which is primarily set indoors. The report confirms that development is progressing well, especially Scene 2 of this stage. The key reveal is the setting and objective. Players arrive at a port and must infiltrate a luxurious passenger ship to protect the mayor from criminals. This indoor environment allows for diverse enemy placements, with foes hiding in numerous spots, appearing from stairs, and even utilizing elevators, adding depth to the shootouts compared to the outdoor stages. Screenshots highlight various indoor locations within the ship, showcasing the varied enemy positions and the detailed environments players will navigate. The report expresses growing excitement for the Sega Saturn version's expected early completion, fueled by the progress shown in these new screenshots covering the entirety of Scene 1 and parts of Scene 2. The next page of Sega Power-Up Report dives deep into the highly anticipated Sakura Wars, focusing on an interview with the game's story writer, Satu Akahori. The feature is prominently displayed with stunning artwork of the main cast, surrounding a detailed Kubu mech, alongside a dynamic illustration of Ogami and Sumair. The core of the article is the interview, where Akahori discusses the game's story structure, revealing it was designed with a TV series in mind, aiming for a multi-episode feel. He touches upon the character creation process, mentioning influences from dating simulation games, and focusing on developing relationships between the player character and the heroines, as well as character dynamics among the female cast members. The writer emphasizes the blend of intense mech combat and heartfelt character interactions that define the game. Adding a touch of charm, the page also reveals a mysterious chibi character theater, showcasing screenshots of adorable chibi versions of the characters engaging in minigames, specifically highlighting a cooking segment. This suggests fun, light-hearted moments interspersed with the main story. Character profiles are also featured, giving brief descriptions of the game's colorful cast. This report confirms Sakura Wars is shaping up to be a unique blend of genres, with a strong narrative focus crafted by an experienced writer. This page features Warp's highly anticipated interactive movie, Enemy Zero, for the Sega Saturn. The spread showcases the game's striking visual style, centered around the protagonist, Laura, depicted in a large, prominent image. The page highlights Enemy Zero as a movie-oriented experience, emphasizing Laura's role akin to an actress. Conceptual themes are touched upon, including the deep space setting and the intriguing subject of digital sadness. The layout includes several smaller in-game screenshots, offering glimpses of the environments and scenes players will encounter. It confirms the game aims to blend elements of both interactive cinema and gameplay, scheduled for a fall 1996 release on the Sega Saturn. This page features Sega Saturn networks, promoting the console's online capabilities, and a game that utilizes them. The left side showcases the Sega Saturn modem package, explaining how players can connect online to battle rivals across Japan, featuring a screenshot from Virtua Fighter Remix to illustrate online fighting. The modem package is priced at 14,800 yen. The right side is an advertisement for Tournament Leader, a golf simulation game that supports online play through the network. It highlights realistic graphics, multiple gameplay modes including tournaments and team battles for up to 4 players, and features like different camera angles and replays. Tournament Leader was scheduled for release on August 23rd, priced at 5,800 yen. This page features the action RPG Dark Savior for the Sega Saturn. The left side prominently displays the game's logo, artwork of the 2 main characters with a large sword and a dramatic background, alongside a tagline that translates to "This adventure drama will never let you sleep." The right side details the game's features, highlighting the full polygon map and free camera movement for exploration. It mentions the unique parallel scenario system, where the outcome of the opening battle against the final boss dictates which of multiple story paths the player will experience. The text describes the game as challenging the player's intellect with its intricate 3D structure. It also notes the involvement of Koichi Nakamura, known for his work on Dragon Quest II I and IV, as chief programmer, who spent 2 years developing this ultimate 3D RPG. Screenshots showcase various aspects of the game, including combat encounters, exploration, and a battle against a large dragon. Release information is provided, stating the game was released on August 30th, 1996, for 5,800 yen. There's also a small mention of a related music single by Ann Lewis. The page includes the Sega Saturn logo and the Climax developer logo. This page showcases Konami's lineup for the Sega Saturn, highlighting 3 key titles. The left side features Policenauts, described as the ultimate form of interactive cinema, coming to the Saturn across 3 creeds. It's set in old L.A. in 2040, featuring characters like Jonathan Ingram. The game is hyped with a release date of September 13th, and mentions a special first-run bonus package, including items like a decal and memory sticker. There's also a chance to win a Policenauts jacket by purchasing the game. In the center is Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Pazurudama, a puzzle game featuring characters from the popular Tokimeki Memorial series. It promises full character voice acting and is set for release on September 27th. The right side promotes Jikyu Oshibari Parodius, a shooting game filled with charm and laughter. It's presented as a port that retains all the fun of the original, and is slated for release in the fall of '96. Below these featured games is a list of other popular Konami titles available for the Sega Saturn and PlayStation, including Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Snatcher, and Vandal Hearts. There's also information about a campaign where purchasing Konami Saturn software gives you a chance to win prizes. This page features 2 distinct titles hitting the Sega Saturn. On the left is Jaleco's take on the timeless puzzle classic, Tetris Plus. This version injects new life into the game with exciting additions like a puzzle mode, where you guide a character through falling blocks, a competitive versus mode for head-to-head action, and even an edit mode to create your own stages. It's a fresh spin on a familiar favorite. The right side showcases Slam Unjam 96 featuring Magic and Kareem, a basketball game from Crystal Dynamics. This title brings NBA legends Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the court, promising realistic action with their signature moves and a dynamic 3D perspective. Players can choose to control a single athlete or manage an entire team, with various strategic options available. Both games were slated for release on August 9th. The next page highlights several upcoming Sega Saturn titles. On the left, the Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Special Box is showcased. This includes the main game, along with a bonus 8cm music CD featuring arranged tracks and voiceovers, as well as a Demon Compendium book. Featuring prominent character artwork, this special edition is priced at 7,800 yen and was set for release on August 9th. The right side of the page focuses on Hatsugyakuten, a super deluxe, 5 inches 1 gambling simulation game making its debut on the Sega Saturn. It includes simulations of various gambling activities such as keirin, horse racing, boat racing, pachinko, and pachislot. Advertised as the Road to Gambling King, the game was scheduled for an August 2nd release at 5,800 yen and features screenshots of the different game types. Finally, a smaller section at the bottom promotes Strikers 1945, a hardcore vertical shooting game set during World War II. It features screenshots and plain artwork, noting its availability on both PlayStation and Sega Saturn platforms for 5,800 yen, published by Sikyo and sold by Atlas. This page features advertisements for 2 distinct Sega Saturn games. On the left, we have Honkaku Yonin Uchi Genujin Taikyoku Mahjong The Warawa Deppon, an authentic 4-player mahjong game based on the Fuji TV program of the same name. It pits players against a lineup of well-known Japanese entertainers, talents, and celebrities. The game faithfully recreates the show, offering modes like a tournament battle against 10 famous individuals and a free battle mode with an adaptive difficulty system. It also includes a replay feature to review past matches. This mahjong title was scheduled for an early October release at 7,800 yen. The right side showcases Sega Saturn Motion Puzzle Body Special 264, the second volume in a series of puzzle games. This title is highlighted as A Man's Game and features 3 prominent swimsuit models: Akira Kiuchi, Akiko Hinagata, and China Matsuda. Players likely piece together motion video clips or images of these models in a jigsaw puzzle format. The game was already released and priced at 6,800 yen. This page features the upcoming Sega Saturn RPG, Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian. The main visual showcases the game's cast of characters in an anime style. Accompanying screenshots highlight both the exploration segments and the turn-based battle system, giving a glimpse of the graphical presentation. The game was scheduled for release on August 9, 1996. With an estimated price of 6,500 yen. The page also details promotional offers, including recruitment for the official fan club Aquarism, and a first press bonus featuring a desk calendar and a luxurious CD box. Additionally, a double chance campaign offered prizes like original telephone cards to those who participated. On the right side, a prominent advertisement announces the launch of Tokyo Internet as a new internet service provider, highlighting its user-friendly interface and pricing plans. This page features the Sega Saturn game Gal Yan, an adulterated mahjong title, notable for being the first in the industry to utilize rotoscope animation for smoother character movement, as explained in a dedicated section. The main artwork showcases 3 anime-style women. The game was released on August 9th for 6,800 yen. There's also a limited campaign offering original telephone cards. On the right side, the page highlights a collection of highly anticipated video crids for adult anime fans from the DES label. These include works by Toshio Maeda, such as Yoju Kyoshitsu and Inju Gakuen. The section showcases various cover arts and lists numerous titles with their pricing and release information, emphasizing that these are adult-rated and restricted to those 18 and older. This represents a significant release of explicit anime content on the video CD format. This page covers 2 Sega Saturn titles. the strategy simulation game Master of Monsters, Neo Generations, and the puzzle game Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Pazurudama. On the left, we see Master of Monsters, Neo Generations, published by Toshiba Emi. This is a simulation game from System Soft, known for its deep strategy gameplay, now making its way to the Sega Saturn. The artwork features several fantasy characters in a detailed, classic style. It was showcased at the Tokyo Game Show '96 and was scheduled for release in October '96. The right side features Continue Report 2. Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Pazurudama. This is a competitive puzzle game spun off from the popular dating simulation series Tokimeki Memorial. It combines elements from both the arcade business version and new home use features, promising double the fun. The report highlights that the game offers 3 core modes: Practice, Confession, and Spirit, allowing players to challenge rivals from the Tokimeki Memorial series. Players can freely choose rules, including the arcade-style Robot Operation mode, for competitive play. The page also proudly states that the impressive opening demo from the arcade original is fully reproduced. Screenshots show the puzzle grid alongside character portraits and mode selection screens. This page presents a fantastic bonus for fans of the Sega Saturn dating simulation classic, Dukyu Say If. Featured here are 2 collectible postcards showcasing stunning artwork by the renowned artist Akemi Takada, who is famous for her work on many beloved anime and game series. One postcard features Mei Sakuragi, captured in a stylish swimsuit pose against a watery backdrop. The other highlights Misa Tanaka, shown in a dynamic pose wearing a sports uniform. These character illustrations truly capture the charm of the heroines from Dukyu Say If and were a great inclusion for readers of Saturn Fan Magazine. This page dives deep into Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Puzzle Dama, highlighting how the Sega Saturn version faithfully brings the arcade's graphics and character dialogue home. The article emphasizes the charming interactions and voice lines spoken by the heroines during the puzzle battles, a core appeal of the game. Featured prominently are many fan-favorite characters from the original Tokimeki Memorial dating simulation, including Shiori Fujisaki, Saori Nagakura, Ai Mihara, and many others. For each girl, there's artwork and a glimpse into the unique dialogue they utter as you chain combos in the puzzle game. Furthermore, the Saturn port offers fan service not found in the arcade, like voiced introduction demos and the ability to select any character for versus mode, regardless of whether you successfully dated them in the main Tokimeki Memorial game. It's presented as a perfect port, with added value for fans. This page announces the upcoming September 14th release date for Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Sega Saturn in Japan, building anticipation among fans. The report confidently declares it a complete and perfect port of the arcade version, ensuring all the hidden features and gameplay nuances are faithfully recreated. Key highlights for the Saturn release include the ability to select from 24 different win poses for each character, the option to switch Chun-Li into her classic Street Fighter II costume, and the inclusion of random challenging characters appearing during single-player battles, just like in the arcade. The page also confirms that all hidden techniques and special moves are present. Furthermore, the popular training mode from the original Street Fighter Alpha makes its return, allowing players to hone their skills. The report even touches on polygonal finisher animations for the series' newer characters, suggesting some impressive visual flair. The page concludes with a teaser for the next issue, promising a full introduction to the character roster. This page provides an extensive update on the development of the highly anticipated adventure game, Enemy Zero. The headline announces, the countdown to the December release has begun, building excitement for fans. A major focus is placed on the game's real-time polygon sections, highlighting their compatibility with the analog controller, referred to as Marucon, promising smooth, free movement in 3D environments. Screenshots demonstrate the player's ability to control Laura Lewis and view the environment from subtle angles, turning left, right, up, and down. The report emphasizes this freedom contrasts with the fixed camera angles found in older 3D games. The page also gives a grand unveiling of the game's polished movie sequences, praising their enhanced beauty and atmosphere compared to earlier footage. Screenshots show dramatic moments from these FMVSs, including Laura facing potential threats and reacting in fear. The article suggests these stunning visuals, a result of Warp's research into lighting and camera work, effectively convey the game's sense of terror and sadness. Finally, a development status corner features information straight from the developer, Warp, providing insights into the current state of the project. A table offers key release details, such as the planned December launch, genre, adventure, and player count. The page effectively builds anticipation by showcasing both the technical advancements in gameplay control and the impressive visual fidelity of the cinematic sequences. The next page brings updates on two very different titles. On the left we have Papu to Isho ni, a delightful simulation game focused on helping people. Players guide the lovable creature Papu through polygon landscapes to assist those in distress and gain public favor, all to help one of 5 prospective young goddesses become the leader. The game features cute character designs and incorporates elements of interaction with the distinct goddesses and navigating various situations. On the right, the report shifts to the highly anticipated Sega Saturn version of Legendary Ogre Battle. This tactical RPG powerhouse, a follow-up to the acclaimed Super Famicom title, is in its final development stages for a September release. The page features screenshots highlighting the signature tactical battles, complete with the strategic influence of tarot cards, and the detailed unit management screens. An interview with the producer emphasizes the commitment to enhancing the graphics for the Saturn, while meticulously preserving the beloved world and deep gameplay that defined the original. This page delivers updates on 2 distinct projects. On the left, we dive back into the world of Galaxy Fraulein Yuna, highlighting the Yuna Remix project, which focuses on the animation production process, showing steps from rough sketches to finished animation cells. Alongside this, there's news on the second Yuna OVA being in production. We also get a glimpse of a new character named Aya. The right side shifts gears to a new fighting game, titled Fist. This title stands out as a polygon-based fighting game featuring a roster primarily composed of female characters, though there are also male fighters. The controls are described as simple, using direction inputs plus 3 buttons for punch, kick, and guard. The page showcases several screenshots displaying the polygon graphics and various special moves. The character lineup includes fighters from the previous game Pretty Fighter X, as well as introducing several new personalities, providing details on their backgrounds and fighting styles. This page provides updates on 2 distinct Sega Saturn titles. First up is a look at the Saturn version of Policenauts. This report details the enhancements made for the console release, particularly focusing on the revamped shooting mode, which now includes target, training, and combat variations, offering different challenges. The game itself is presented across 3 discs, promising a massive story experience, complete with full-motion video segments and extensive voice acting, adding significant depth to the narrative and character interactions. Screenshots showcase the various shooting modes, character art of protagonists Jonathan Ingram and Ed Brown, and detailed backgrounds like the Beyond Police Department and the hospital. The article highlights the ability to revisit locations and gather information as a key gameplay element. Next, we get details on Magical Drop 2 for the Saturn. This version is presented as a comprehensive port of the arcade game, enhanced with exclusive original content. Key additions include new special modes, like Versus Mode and Sparkle Mode, offering fresh ways to play. The Saturn release also features an expanded story mode, with added dialogue and voice acting, a significant upgrade over the arcade version. Players can also look forward to new battle variations and, excitingly, the ability to play as powerful boss characters such as Devil, Strength, and Empress right from the character select screen, adding great replayability. Screenshots display the vibrant puzzle action and the diverse cast of characters available. This page dives into the world of Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 1. The Blue Fear on the Sega Saturn. The report focuses on the game's system and unveils details about Chapter 3, which serves as the midpoint of the story. Set in the iconic One-Year War era, players step into the cockpit of a Federation mobile suit, specifically protagonist Yu Kojima's unit. Likely a ground-type GM or GM custom as shown, tasked with collecting crucial combat data. The core gameplay emphasizes realistic mobile suit movement and immersive 3D polygon visuals across 5 stages. Chapter 3 takes the battle to a vast desert environment, where the mission involves engaging Zeon forces, including familiar Zaku mobile suits and the formidable Gallopland battleship. Screenshots showcase the cockpit perspective, external battle views, and the desert landscape, highlighting the detail in the mobile suit models and environments. The article mentions the developers paid close attention to conveying the tension of battle. There's also a brief interview with developer Hirofumi Inagaki, confirming the game is nearing completion at 90% and discussing the challenges of creating the stages. Finally, the page highlights a special first-run bonus, a Federation Army badge. This page continues the deep dive into Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, focusing on the game's system and point mechanics. It explains that scores are awarded for various actions, like destroying enemy mobile suits and avoiding damage. The game's mission clear screen displays detailed results including combat points, damage taken percentage, and a final overall rating. These results don't just provide a score, they influence the messages you receive after completing a stage and your pilot ranking. Interestingly, in Chapter 2 specifically, dialogue with characters can change depending on how well you perform during the mission. Screenshots illustrate the game's HUD and the post-mission results screen, showing how performance is evaluated. The page also features a section called King of Saturn, which includes reader submissions combined with game data. This section features Ranking Street, a weekly listing of the top-selling and most popular games based on sales data and reader feedback. The highlight this week is the dating simulation Tokimeki Memorial, which has climbed to second place in the rankings across 2 separate weeks shown, pushing towards the top spot against strong competition. This page serves as a reader submission postcard, designed to gather feedback and facilitate prize applications from Sega Saturn fans. It's split into 2 main sections. The top part is dedicated to reader contributions for specific sections of the magazine, such as the popular Ranking Street feature, the King of Saturn, and the Game Research Institute. Readers are prompted to provide contact information and direct their submission to the relevant department, allowing them to share their thoughts or data related to games and the magazine's content. The lower section functions as a reader survey and prize application form. Alongside asking for demographic details like age and sex, it includes a table for reporting game performance or favorites, listing several prominent Saturn titles of the era. This includes games previously highlighted like Tokimeki Memorial and Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, as well as major releases such as Virtua Fighter Remix, Panzer Dragoon, Sega Rally Championship, Darkstalkers 3, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter. The bulk of this section is dedicated to a ranked selection process for presents offered in this issue, where readers can indicate their desired prizes by numbering them in order of preference from a list, not fully detailed here. This comprehensive form allows the magazine to gauge reader interests, collect data on game popularity and performance, and manage prize giveaways. This page features the Ranking Street section, presenting a game ranking derived from reader surveys and postcard submissions. It highlights reader feedback and criticisms on various recent releases. The ranking is led by Birth's Debut at number 1, followed by Toriko at number 2, and Strikers 1945 at number 3. Reader comments provide insights into why these games ranked where they did. For the top-ranked Birth's Debut, players praise the main character and her rivals, highlighting the appealing character designs and excellent voice acting, fitting for an idol-raising simulation game. While some find the gameplay loop might become repetitive, the engaging characters and voice work seem to be major selling points for readers. Toriko, the second-ranked game, receives more mixed feedback. Readers comment on aspects like the game's pace, the time spent moving around the map, and the overall graphics and character interactions. Some reviews touch upon the game's ending and express varying levels of satisfaction. The page includes both sweet opinions, highlighting positives like graphics and characters, and spicy opinions, pointing out potential drawbacks like the gameplay speed. Overall, the page offers a direct look at how Sega Saturn fans were receiving the latest games through their submitted opinions and rankings, giving a platform for diverse viewpoints on popular titles like Birth's Debut and Toriko. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, showcasing more games ranked by readers. Coming in at number 3 is the arcade shooter Strikers 1945. Readers praised its smooth gameplay, beautiful graphics, and engaging BGM. While some found the difficulty adjustment via item collection a bit strange, the core shooting action was well received, particularly the satisfying feeling of dodging bullets. The developer notes they adjusted difficulty for newcomers. At number 4 is the strategy game Daisen Ryaku. Players appreciated the depth and scale of the strategy, finding it highly replayable. However, some felt the graphics were dated compared to other Saturn titles. Fatal Fury 3, Road to Final Victory, takes the 5th spot. Feedback is mixed, with some praising the character designs and new systems, while others felt it didn't live up to previous installments like Fatal Fury Special, citing issues with controls or balance. Ranked 6th is the Fatal Fury Special/Real Bout Fatal Fury Collection. This package was well received for offering 2 popular fighting games, seen as a great value. Readers enjoyed the responsive controls and praised the quality of the ports. Finally, at number 7 is Master Yosuke Ide's Real Mahjong. Readers found the Mahjong gameplay solid and appreciated the inclusion of a story mode and the appearance of a famous Mahjong player. However, some felt the graphics and character designs were somewhat plain, and the loading times could be frustrating. This page continues the ranking streak feature, with rank 8 going to the action game Hisatsu. Players enjoyed its exciting stages and the use of original music, though some felt the difficulty could be inconsistent. The developers noted they adjusted the game to be more approachable. Rank 9 is Rise of the Robots 2. Reviewers appreciated the cool characters and sound, but felt the gameplay suffered from limited combat patterns and simplistic fighting mechanics. The developers highlighted the use of CG rendering for the robots. An extra feature covers the making of Nightruth, an adventure game, discussing elements beyond the core game content like interviews and themes. There's an extra review section focusing on simulation games, specifically Angelique Special and Sotsugyo 2, Neo Generation. These romance and graduation simulators were discussed based on their characters and relationship-building gameplay. Reviews also cover a Godzilla game, highlighting the appeal of the monsters and battles, and the simulation game Sim Tower, likely referred to as the Tower, focusing on the experience of building and managing a skyscraper. Finally, there's a section for voice actor fans and a brief announcement about a contest for submitting game reviews for upcoming issues, listing the target games for the next round. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, presenting a real-time ranking of games based on reader points collected up to June 28. The table lists numerous games, showcasing their current rank, previous rank, points, and movement. Leading the pack is the ever-popular Virtua Fighter 2, securing the top spot, followed by titles like Nobunaga's Ambition, Shosei Roku, Panzer Dragoon, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, and Street Fighter Alpha in the top 5, demonstrating a mix of genres holding strong positions. The accompanying ranking report provides insight into these results. It notes that the ranking reflects current reader sentiment, with both established classics and newer releases finding their place. The report specifically highlights Virtua Fighter 2's consistent dominance at the top. Further down the list, it focuses on the game at rank 31, identified as the arcade shooter Strikers, praising its appeal to fans of the genre. The report suggests that its simple controls and fast-paced action contribute significantly to its popularity, illustrating how well-executed arcade ports can resonate strongly with players seeking straightforward, exciting gameplay. The next page continues the Ranking Street feature, presenting both the current popularity ranking and the Port Hope ranking, showing games readers want to see brought to the Saturn. The current popularity list features top titles like Sakura Wars, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Enemy Zero, and the Lunar RPG. The Port Hope ranking highlights reader desires for games like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy V2, Dungeons & Dragons, Shadow over Mystara, Tales of Phantasia, and Tekken 2, showing a strong interest in popular multi-platform or console exclusives. The major feature is a special dialogue between executives from Sega and Hudson, discussing their strategies for the Saturn's future software lineup. Hideki Okamura from Sega, along with Shigeki Fujiwara and Akira Kotsugai from Hudson, talk about collaboration in upcoming Hudson titles for the console, such as Innovation in the Sky, Far East of Eden, The Fourth Apocalypse, and Galaxy Fraulein Una SS. They touch upon Hudson's strengths in 2D animation-style games, and how these complement Sega's hardware capabilities, aiming to satisfy the diverse user base. The interview is accompanied by a screenshot from what appears to be a classic Hudson RPG or action game, illustrating the type of 2D visual style discussed. A brief article on the Mystery of Port Hope discusses specific games like Resident Evil and Psycho Force, and the potential for them coming to the Saturn. This page delves into Tetris Plus, offering a comprehensive guide from the basics of the falling block game to strategies for its unique modes. It covers the core gameplay, explaining how to clear lines and the different types like singles, doubles, triples, and Tetris clears, along with diagrams of the iconic blocks and how they rotate. The focus then shifts to the specific modes of Tetris Plus, providing tactics for guiding the little professor character through the levels in the puzzle mode by clearing blocks strategically. It details how to control the professor's movement and flatten the terrain to reach the goal. The guide also offers strategy tips for tackling the 10 stages in the competitive versus mode, suggesting approaches to clear lines effectively to send garbage to the opponent. It's presented as a game research lab, breaking down the game's mechanics and modes to help players master Tetris Plus. This page continues the coverage of Tetris Plus, offering detailed strategy guides for the puzzle mode. It breaks down specific stages within the Angkor Wat, Maya, Egypt, and Knossos ruins, providing diagrams and tips on how to clear blocks strategically to guide the little professor character to the goal. The overall objective is to conquer stages across these ancient sites and eventually unlock the Atlantis ruin. The main feature is dedicated to Night Truth, an adventure game centered around paranormal phenomena. The article highlights its use of voice actors and complex story branches, leading to multiple endings. A significant part of the coverage is a flowchart detailing the various paths players can take from the prologue, showcasing how choices and interactions with characters like Eiji, Saeko, and Takuya influence the narrative. Screenshots provide glimpses into the game's visual novel style and key dramatic moments, illustrating the game's theme of solving a mystery involving mysterious occurrences like human combustion. The inclusion of the flowchart indicates a deep, choice-driven narrative experience. The next page presents two distinct features. On the left, an announcement details the Brain Battle Q Power Summer Tournament, a quiz game competition offering a significant grand prize of 100,000 yen. Players are encouraged to submit high scores achieved within the game for a chance to win. The page also recaps the results of the June 1996 Brain Battle Q National Championship, listing the top-ranked players in this ongoing competitive scene. The right side begins a continuous strategy guide for the adventure game Classmates, if, Dokusei if. This first part introduces players to the fundamentals of the game and provides an overview of the main settings across its two towns. Accompanying screenshots offer glimpses of character art and key scenes, illustrating the visual novel style and setting the mood for this relationship-focused title. This page continues the strategy guide for Classmates, if, Dokusei if, diving into the game's settings and key locations. On the left, you'll find detailed maps of the two main towns, Yabuki Town and Senbu Town. These maps label important spots, giving players a visual reference for navigating the game world. The right side focuses on where you're most likely to encounter the various girls in the game. It highlights specific locations in both towns, like Senbu Station, the Otimtim Coffee Shop, Senbu Academy, and the Cat's Eye establishment. For each spot, it gives you the lowdown on who you might meet there, and offers tips on how to maximize your chances or what to expect. Screenshots show characters at these locations, providing a glimpse of the character art and dialogue. It's essential reading for anyone looking to make progress and build relationships in the game. This page provides a comprehensive guide on effectively managing your limited time in Classmates, if to build relationships with the girls. It emphasizes purposeful action over aimless wandering. A general summer schedule is presented, breaking down the game's time frame into phases dedicated to meeting girls, getting closer, experiencing key events, and the final confessions. Specific periods are highlighted. The first few days, August 10-14, are for meeting as many girls as possible. The next phase, August 15-19, focuses on deepening connections with those you've met. August 20-24 is when significant relationship events occur. August 25-30 is for maintaining these connections, and August 31st is the day for confession. The guide then demonstrates these principles using practical examples, detailing playthroughs for two specific characters, Kyoko Sakuragi and Midori Takano. For Kyoko's route, it shows key events around August 15th, including a memorable pool scene. Midori's case highlights events around August 20th, featuring her unique personality and interactions, such as an unexpected disco visit. Screenshots throughout illustrate these events and character moments, giving players a visual understanding of potential paths and outcomes in the game. It's clear the focus is on careful planning and leveraging scheduled opportunities. This page is an applied edition guide for mastering Classmates, focusing on leveraging various information to get along with more girls. It lays out key strategies beyond just time management. One crucial tip is learning to predict girls' movement patterns, as some stay put while others roam, requiring different approaches. Your home is highlighted as a vital resource, not just for saving, but also for using the computer to gather valuable information. The guide strongly emphasizes understanding the complex relationships between all characters, not just the 17 girls, as this internal dynamic is crucial for successful progression. You can also get essential advice from in-game sources, like the fortune teller, who hints at relationships, and the quiz brothers, who offer knowledge or money if you can answer their questions, though it costs money to play. While being perfectly on time for dates is ideal, the game is somewhat forgiving if you're slightly late, though punctuality is always appreciated. Finally, don't blow your initial 50,000 yen carelessly on arcades or clubs. Save it for important events or the profitable quizzes. Screenshots illustrate these points, showing character locations, the computer interface, relationship dynamics, the fortune teller, and the quiz center. This page dives deep into triggering special events through dating in Tokimeki Memorial. Forever with you. It highlights that going on dates is the key to seeing unique, limited-time events, with at least one event guaranteed to occur per girl and at least one overall per season. The guide points out that there are 21 date locations in total, and over 60 special Tokimeki events hidden within them across the game's 3 years. A crucial step is acquiring a girl's phone number, often obtained through your friend Yoshio. Once you have the number, you can call to ask a girl out. But don't be discouraged by rejections. Keep trying. The strategy emphasizes regularly checking available date spots using the information command, especially looking out for seasonal or newly appearing locations. Scheduling multiple dates can be tricky, as the game might only show the earliest one you agreed to, but setting 2 or more within a month allows you to choose the location. The goal is to see all the events and discover new sides to the girls. Screenshots illustrate getting a number from Yoshio, calling a girl, different date locations, and special event scenes like a summer festival date. This guide outlines special events in Tokimeki Memorial. Forever with you, crucial for building relationships with the heroines. These events are triggered by seasonal changes, school activities, and each girl's individual status. The guide highlights events for 3 specific girls. Mio Kisaragi's events reflect her gentle nature, often involving quiet settings like beaches and reading spots. Shiori Fujisaki's events reveal her heartfelt side through shared memories, seasonal dates, and unexpected moments. Yuna Himu's events are eccentric, showcasing unique situations and locations like bowling alleys, space encounters, and the zoo, reflecting her unusual personality. Successfully triggering and experiencing these diverse events is vital for understanding the girls and succeeding in the game. This guide section for Tokimeki Memorial, Forever with You, details special events with 4 heroines. Sayeko Katagiri, the artistic type, has events from a school trip to knitting in the park, showcasing her fear of water. Yukari Koshiki, a refined lady, reveals a fondness for insectivorous plants and gets hilariously wet. Saki Nijino, the energetic sports lover, is featured in events like a school trip fever and cheering at a baseball game. Nozomi Kiyokawa, a sporty girl, has events including a clumsy moment at an art museum and helping with books. These events, accompanied by illustrations, are crucial for understanding each girl's personality and deepening your bond in the game. This page continues the in-depth guide for Tokimeki Memorial. Forever with You, focusing on events with 4 more of the game's heroines. You'll find event details from Mira Kagami, showcasing her cool exterior but revealing softer moments, such as relaxing on the beach, or a surprising interaction during a winter date. Her events often highlight the contrast between her public image and private side. Next up is Megumi Mihara, depicted as someone who needs looking after, particularly around animals. Events include her reactions at a hero show, caring for a stray cat, and a humorous encounter with a dog she considers a rival. Her moments often emphasize her gentle nature and connection to creatures. The guide then features Yuko Asahina, who is all about staying current with trends and seeking excitement. Her events include taking a tumble while skating, winning prizes at a crane game, and getting lost in the music at a live concert. These scenarios underscore her energetic personality and pursuit of fun. Finally, the page covers Yumi Saotome, portrayed with a cheerful, somewhat childish spirit. Events include clumsy falls during activities, enthusiastically watching wrestling, enjoying a boat ride, and getting stuck on a ski lift. Her events often show her playful and sometimes accident-prone character. These event summaries, paired with illustrations, are essential for navigating the game and building a strong connection with each girl. This page features a crucial guide element for Tokimeki Memorial, Forever with You, alongside an exciting announcement. The main focus is an extensive annual timetable detailing the availability of various date locations across multiple years, indicating which locations are open during specific months, and highlighting periods when special events linked to the heroines might occur. It's an essential resource for optimizing your schedule and triggering key moments with the girls. Additionally, there's a significant announcement regarding a recruitment drive for Tokimeki Memorial 2, tentative. Konami is actively seeking fan input and ideas for the potential sequel across several categories, including game mechanics, scenario concepts for dates and events, and even character design ideas. They are offering illustrations signed by the character designer, Mr. Ogura, as prizes for excellent submissions. This shows a direct effort to involve the community in the development of the next installment. The guide portion briefly touches upon the types of ideas they are seeking for game parameters like guts and scenario writing. This page features a strategy guide for Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian, covering the story progression from the midpoint of Part 1 through its climax and into the beginning of Part 2. The guide details the party's journey, starting with their triumphant return to Goat and the events that unfold there. It then covers their efforts to quell a conflict between the Birdmen and Beastmen races before they set sail for a new land, aiming for the area known as Sand Mountain across the sea. A significant portion is dedicated to the party's arrival at this new location and the inevitable, fateful confrontation with the antagonist, Bernard. The guide also introduces a new party member, Amon, a Birdman, highlighting his abilities and role as the fifth companion to join the group. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate key story moments, battles, locations like Goat and the desert area, and character dialogues, including the introduction of Atamon. A map shows the geography of the areas covered in this part of the game. The next page continues the guide for Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian, detailing the dramatic conclusion of Part 1 and the beginning of a new journey in Part 2. The focus shifts to the final confrontation with Emperor Radruria and the mysterious Fatih at the floating castle. The guide explains the events leading up to this climax, including Leos falling ill but eventually recovering. Screenshots depict the party's arrival at the castle and the epic battle with Radruria, noting Fatih's tragic sacrifice involving a magical stone to aid in his defeat and the subsequent collapse of the castle, marking the end of the first major arc. Part 2 begins with the original party members, Leos, Eldea, and Amon, returning home, while Bike heads to Harpy's forest to reunite with Raya. The story then centers on the disappearance of Guy, prompting Bike to search for him. He is joined by a significant new character, Carol, the powerful granddaughter of the sorcerer Bald. Cheryl, featured in a striking character art piece, assists Bike using teleportation magic. The guide tracks their progress as they travel to Agunas, where they meet Mylar, who is revealed to be Leos's uncle, further expanding the world and its connections as the adventure continues. This page features a detailed look at the upcoming release of Langrisser 2i, highlighting its key attractions across 4 points. The article emphasizes the game's visual appeal, driven by the distinct character designs of Satoshi Urushihara, who is central to the series' popularity. The page showcases several prominent characters like Tiaras, Lifany, Luna, Altamuller, Deerheart, the protagonist, and Bozile, illustrating the diverse cast players will encounter. Another major point discussed is the extensive integration of event scenes, which are crucial for story development and are interwoven with the tactical battles. The game structure alternates between these event scenes and gameplay segments. A notable feature is the heroine select system, where character relationships and feelings are influenced by the player's actions and choices within these events. The page includes screenshots depicting both character portraits during dialogue and tactical battle scenes. Langrisser 2 is described as a simulation RPG, aiming to draw players in with its narrative and strategic depth ahead of its release. This page dives into the tactical depth and story structure of Langrisser 2i. It highlights the game's accessible battle system, which is core to the simulation RPG experience, allowing players strategic freedom. Character progression is key, with growth and class changes offering variety, influenced by initial character creation. The battle system features various commands like movement, magic, and skill use, with options for faster movement and a speed-up mode to streamline gameplay. The article emphasizes the game's substantial volume, with over 40 scenarios, designed to avoid repetition through integrated story events that prevent pacing issues. It provides a glimpse into the narrative flow from Scenario 13 onward, detailing plot points involving key characters and conflicts, such as the protagonist's actions and encounters in various locations. Screenshots illustrate dialogue scenes, character portraits, and tactical battles, showcasing the game's presentation as the story unfolds across these numerous scenarios. A small news blurb mentions initial release bonuses for the game. This page highlights the upcoming release of Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse IV, focusing on its new polygon fighting mode. The article reveals that what was initially thought to be just a simple minigame is a full-fledged polygon fighter, complete with victory poses and messages. The main focus is the showdown between Geisha Robo and King Manto, taking place in Death Valley. Screenshots showcase the polygon models and the battle interface, indicating attacks like jabs and straights are used, along with guard options and special moves. Beyond the main story elements hinted at on the left side, with character portraits and a narrative scene, the polygon fighting is clearly a significant new addition. The page also features polygon models of another character, Blizzard, suggesting multiple characters will be getting the polygon treatment for this mode. It appears the game is introducing a unique fighting element alongside its traditional RPG gameplay. This page continues to delve into the world of Far East of Eden. The Apocalypse IV, moving beyond the polygon fighting mode highlighted previously to showcase new locations and features within the expansive game world. The article presents a collection of freshly obtained screenshots, teasing various areas across America where the adventure unfolds. We see glimpses of iconic places like New Orleans, Salt Lake City, Mexico City, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, and Lake Tahoe, suggesting a journey that spans diverse environments, from bustling cities to natural landscapes and mysterious interiors like ancient ruins or hidden rooms. One interesting image shows a regular connecting ship, indicating various modes of transportation will be used to traverse the vast continent. Beyond the standard RPG exploration, the page also features a section on character movies, highlighting dramatic cutscenes and special poses. A dynamic victory pose is shown, possibly related to the combat or fighting mode discussed earlier. Another section details minigames, revealing a jigsaw puzzle subgame and a character editing screen, allowing players to customize NPC appearances or create unique characters. Overall, the page emphasizes the breadth of content in Far East of Eden. The Apocalypse IV, showcasing not just the core RPG gameplay and the recently revealed fighting mode, but also diverse locations, travel options, dramatic character moments, and engaging minigames, suggesting a rich and varied experience awaits players. This page features Lunar, Silver Star story, highlighting the game's extensive use of animation sequences to enhance the narrative. Presented as part of the RPG Big 4 collection, the article showcases various animated moments integrated throughout the adventure. The page includes glimpses from the opening animation featuring Luna and the mysterious Zenobia, demonstrating the game's visual flair from the start. It then delves into specific in-game scenes, showing main characters Alex and Nall near Dine's grave, and during their initial meeting with the charismatic bandit, Kyle. Humorous character moments, like Kyle's exaggerated sleeping pose, are also featured. The article emphasizes how these frequent animations bring the characters and story to life, showcasing different expressions and dynamic actions. It also previews mysterious locations, such as the Blue Dragon Shrine or Goddess Tower, depicted through striking animated cuts, and hints at many more such sequences appearing later in the game. The character designs by Toshiyuki Kubuka are clearly visible throughout the various animation stills. This page features the Sega Saturn title, Death Crimson, a rail shooter set to debut on August 9th. The artwork showcases a massive biomechanical creature, hinting at the game's intense action and enemy designs. Screenshots provide glimpses of the game's environments and enemy encounters, positioning it as a gun-shooting experience compatible with the Virtual Gun peripheral. The price is listed at 5,800 yen. The right side of the page hosts the Conehead Club, a dedicated section for reader submissions from Sega Saturn fans. This expanded section includes letters and comments covering a wide range of topics, from everyday life to game impressions and hopes for the Saturn. Readers discuss various titles, including arcade ports like Last Bronx, simulation games like Angelique and Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and even hint at classics like Nights into Dreams. This section also includes a small manga strip. It serves as a community hub for fans to share their passion for the console. This page continues the Conehead Club section, featuring reader submissions and fan art for Sega Saturn games. The still continuing free talk area includes various reader comments, discussing everything from daily life like part-time jobs to game-related topics such as Saturn software purchases and the impact of consumption tax changes on prices. A major focus is the We Are Supporters and Tokimeki Lovers Club section, dedicated entirely to Konami's dating simulation classic, Tokimeki Memorial. Readers share their passion for the game and its characters, discussing favorite routes, strategies, and expressing their love through illustrations of the heroines. There are multiple pieces of fan art showcasing beloved characters like Shiori Fujisaki and others, reflecting the game's massive popularity at the time. The AM23 Research Freak section highlights games developed by Sega's legendary AM2 division. It features fan art and comments specifically about the 3D fighting game Last Bronx and the mech combat title Virtualon, showcasing fan appreciation for these arcade ports and Saturn exclusives. Overall, the page is a vibrant community hub, filled with fan-created content and discussions, demonstrating the strong connection Sega Saturn owners had with their favorite games and the platform itself. This page is a vibrant community hub for Sega Saturn fans, showcasing reader submissions and ideas. The Dragon Force Friends Club section is packed with fan love for the strategic RPG Dragon Force. Readers share their passion for the game and its characters, sending in illustrations and comments about favorites like Juno, Reynard, and Reynard, even debating character popularity and traits. The Illustration Gallery is a free-for-all art showcase, where fans submit drawings of characters from various Saturn titles. Featured art includes characters from hits like Sakura Wars, Virtua Fighter's Akira Yuki, Nights into Dreams, and others, demonstrating the diverse tastes of the readership. A large section is dedicated to Reader's Voice, Theme Talk, focusing on the topic, I wish there was a game like this. Fans propose imaginative game concepts. Ideas range from a detailed lawyer simulation RPG with deep investigation and trial mechanics to unique RPG concepts, where the player character isn't a typical hero, and even a Bomberman-style game featuring popular voice actors. Finally, the Nights into Dreams section is filled with fan art and messages specifically for the fantasy platformer. Illustrations feature the Dream Jester Knights and even Sonic the Hedgehog, reflecting the shared universe. Readers share their excitement and submit creative pieces, including a pixel art rendition of the game's logo. This page dives into the heart of the Sega Saturn community and development. It announces the results of the SEGA Fan Cover Prediction Contest, revealing that guessing Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Lunar Silver Star Story for recent covers paid off for some lucky readers. The Reader Q&A section tackles various fan queries, including competitive console comparisons and the meaning behind familiar gaming symbols. The main feature takes us inside Sega's R&D department, with the third installment of the Development Room Diary. Developers share their daily routines, emphasizing that their passion for games extends beyond work hours. They discuss the importance of individuality in game creation and offer insights for those aspiring to join the industry. Panzer Dragoon and Street Fighter Alpha are mentioned in the context of developer experiences. The segment includes a profile of Tomohiro Kondo, a key figure involved in the Panzer Dragoon series. Finally, the page wraps up with guidelines for submitting fan contributions like artwork and letters, featuring charming illustrations, encouraging readers to participate, including a fun drawing of Honey from Fighting Vipers. This page kicks off with News Dynamite, covering some cool stuff happening in the Saturn world. First up, we check out some gear to boost your gaming setup. They highlight the Fighter Stick 02, a dedicated fight stick that's a limited edition based on Street Fighter Alpha 2 visuals, and the HoriPad SS, a cheaper alternative controller. Next, the ever-popular Tokimeki Memorial gets its fourth collection of jigsaw puzzles, featuring fan-favorite characters in various piece counts. There's a neat fan treat, a chance to win exclusive posters drawn by artist Takehiko Takemoto, tied into game events like the Tokyo Game Show. Big news for anime fans. The classic Super Dimension Fortress Macross TV series is getting a complete video release, spanning all 36 episodes over several months. This is a must-have for anyone who loves giant robots and space opera. Hudson held their Nico Nico Pick 96 event, featuring intense multiplayer battles, likely involving their famous Bomberman series, given the visual showing many players competing simultaneously. They also announce a fan book for Super Real Mahjong PVI, which comes packed with a drama CD featuring the game's characters. Finally, the page wraps up with a treasure trove of prizes up for grabs, including posters for Albert Odyssey, bags for Dokusei If, phone cards for Master of Monsters, and coasters for Puyo Puyo Sun, followed by a quick list of winners from a previous survey. There's also a brief mention of a horror attraction at a theme park. This page presents a comprehensive database of Sega Saturn software and peripheral releases, available up to July 27, 1996, totaling an impressive 306 titles. It's organized by genre, providing a valuable resource for any Saturn enthusiast looking to catalog their collection or discover new gems. The database breaks down the library into key categories: fighting action, action, simulation, role-playing, adventure, and shooting. For each game listed, you get essential details, like the game title, publisher, release date, price, save data information, supported peripherals, age rating, and even an overall score and historical ranking within the magazine's own system. Within these lists, you can find heavy hitters like Virtua Fighter and the King of Fighters. 95 in fighting action, classic platformers, and innovative titles like Nights into Dreams and Guardian Heroes in Action, deep experiences like Dragon Force 2 and Shining Wisdom in role-playing, intriguing adventures like Snatcher and Myst, and high-octane arcade ports and original hits like Virtua Cop, Panzer Dragoon, and Layer Section in shooting. It's a fantastic snapshot of the Saturn's growing library in mid-1996, showcasing the variety and depth of titles hitting the console at the time. This level of detail in a magazine database was incredibly useful for fans keeping track of releases. This page continues the comprehensive Sega Saturn database from the previous spread, delving into more diverse genres and the console's extensive peripheral lineup. We find sections dedicated to sports, race, puzzle, table games, think card and board games, and the hugely popular mahjong genre, each packed with titles available up to late July 1996. You'll see familiar sports series like NFL Quarterback Club and NBA Jam, Sega's own racing hits like Gale Racer, and essential puzzle games like Bust-A-Move 2. Interestingly, the database then moves into broader categories like education/database and other, which seem to contain a mix of genres that didn't fit the initial classifications. This includes major RPGs like Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner and Shining the Holy Ark, alongside fighters like Street Fighter Alpha and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and even the unique Virtua Fighter CG Portrait series. This categorization system is a bit peculiar, but gives a full view of the library. Finally, the page details the wide array of Saturn peripherals. It covers standard controllers, joysticks, and racing setups, plus more niche items like the Virtua Gun light gun, keyboards, and even the floppy disk drive and modem accessories. It highlights just how many ways you could interface with and expand the Saturn experience. This page features a reader survey offering prizes for participation. Readers are asked about their gaming habits, preferred content, and demographic information to help the magazine understand their audience better. The prizes include several Sega Saturn games like Virtua Fighter Kids, Likely Flying Vipers based on the listing, Police Note, Magical Drop 2, World Heroes Perfect, Dark Savior, and Clockwork Knight 2, Likely Earthworm Jim 2 based on the listing, along with Teleca cards. The page provides reference lists of articles from the current issue, various gaming magazines, and consoles, which are used as part of the survey questions where readers select their preferences by number. There are detailed instructions on how to fill out the survey postcard correctly for their entry to be valid. This page dives into two main areas. The first is a detailed strategy guide for Nights into Dreams, highlighting various events and secrets within the game. It features multiple screenshots showing gameplay, including encounters with nightmare and enemies like Riala, the different forms knights can take, and specific level elements like the clock in Splash Garden, and the elevator in Mystic Flow. The guide seems to offer tips on clearing stages effectively, and finding hidden elements. The second major section is the Sega Key Persons Network, which offers a glimpse into the various development teams within Sega's AIM and other divisions. It outlines the focus of different groups, from arcade game development covering genres like racing and puzzles, to theme park design, like Tokyo Joytopolis, and PC game production. It gives a brief summary of the projects or philosophy of each division, giving readers an inside look at the people and teams behind Sega's diverse range of entertainment. This page focuses entirely on mastering Elliot's third dream, Stick Canyon, in Nights into Dreams. It's presented as a guide for advanced players, emphasizing that clearing this level requires considerable practice. The guide breaks down strategy for courses 2, 3, and 4, highlighting the importance of optimizing time in the latter half of the level. Course 2 is noted for its challenging obstacles and multiple routes, Route A and Route B, suggesting players remember chip locations and enemy placements to minimize time loss. Screenshots show different paths and the use of dash balls. Course 3 is described as particularly long, with difficult traps, urging players to collect chips and power dashes to refuel the gauge, and focusing on achieving high scores via counterchains. Screenshots depict sections with numerous chips and nightmare and enemies. Finally, Course 4 features the large iron tower at the end. The guide explains how to climb the tower, collect items while flying, and deal with the final boss sequence, noting the descent challenge. There's also a brief announcement continuing the score attack contest for Nights into Dreams, encouraging players to submit their high scores. This page is a strategy guide for Virtua Fighter kids, detailing tactics for both fighting against the CPU and understanding the game's unique mechanics. It emphasizes that while based on Virtua Fighter 2, Kids has key differences like shorter move ranges and different combo possibilities that require new strategies. The guide offers CPU combat tips, focusing on exploiting opponent vulnerabilities rather than reaction times. It explains techniques like creating openings by making the opponent whiff attacks and capitalizing on hitting downed opponents with ground punches, noting characters like Wolf, Jeffrey, Shun, and Lion cannot use this specific tactic. There's also a section highlighting moves with particularly short reach and advising on their use. A list provides effective moves against blocking opponents for each character, including Akira's Tetsuzanku, Jackie's Dash Hammer Kick, and Sarah's Jackknife Kick. Finally, it reveals how to unlock the secret character Crystal Dural, explaining the requirement of setting the difficulty to Tsuyoi, strong, and clearing the game. The article describes Crystal Dural as appearing comically with a gold fishbowl on her head, but being a formidable opponent. This page provides a comprehensive guide to creating and executing multi-hit combos in Virtua Fighter Kids. It breaks down combo building into a three-step process. First, launching the opponent into the air. Second, connecting several quick hits while they are airborne. And finally, finishing with a powerful move that deals significant damage. The guide also discusses the importance of choosing the right finishing move, listing desirable traits such as long reach and fast execution. A key technique highlighted is utilizing input buffering to make combos flow smoothly. The rest of the page is dedicated to showcasing recommended combos for 10 different characters: Akira, Jackie, Sarah, Wolf, Jeffrey, Cage, Pi, Lao, Shun, and Lion. For each character, a specific combo is detailed with command inputs and brief strategic notes, giving players solid examples to practice and master. This page continues the Super Bomberman Strategy Guide, focusing on the challenging rank certification mode. The guide delves into the later stages, specifically floors 13 through 15, breaking down the best approaches to clearing each one. It highlights the importance of knowing enemy behavior, utilizing key power-ups like the Power Glove and Remote Bomb, and strategically using bombs and blocks to defeat foes efficiently. The guide also explains how your rank is determined, taking into account factors such as your score, remaining time, how many enemies you defeated, and your intelligent use of items. Screenshots illustrate tactics like trapping enemies between blocks and bombs, and navigating complex floor layouts to reach bonus items. This section provides essential tips for players aiming to master the mode and achieve the highest possible ranks. This page continues the Super Bomberman Strategy Guide, focusing on the challenging later floors and final bosses in the rank certification mode. It covers floor 16, introducing the boss Bomber Miyagi, and outlining the strategy to defeat him by destroying his energy waves. Floors 17, 18, and 19 provide tactics for clearing tricky layouts and large groups of enemies, highlighting the effective use of power-ups like the Remote Bomb and Bomb Kick to trap foes. The guide then details the battle against the final boss, Panzer Dragoon, on floor 20, explaining his two distinct forms and how to overcome them. The page concludes with advice for becoming a master, offering general tips for maximizing your score and technique points in the mode, emphasizing efficient enemy clearing and smart item usage to achieve the coveted master rank. This page dives into the world of Cyberdoll, an RPG where player progression is centered around swapping out the protagonist's body parts. The guide explains this unique system, detailing how each part comes with life, durability, and weight, plus one additional core stat like defense, response, or power. These part-specific stats then influence the character's overall performance parameters, including speed, attack, carrying capacity, and general defense. The page presents lists of early game parts obtainable for various body sections, such as the brain, ribcage, spine, nerves, eyes, heart, organs, arms, and legs. It highlights which primary stat, defense, response, or power is associated with parts for each body section, giving players insight into how customizing different areas impacts specific aspects of their combat and movement capabilities. This detailed breakdown helps players understand the strategic depth behind character building in Cyberdoll, which is recommended for players aged 18 and up. This page features guides for two different Sega Saturn games. On the left, we look at Debut 3, offering advice on how to achieve the game's numerous individual endings after winning the main competition. It explains that success in various potential careers, from idol and singer to actress and even wrestler or magician, depends on building specific character parameters like voice, acting, charm, common sense, and confidence to high levels. The guide notes that multiple endings are possible for each path based on how high these stats are. On the right, the focus shifts to the adventure game Gekka Mugen Tan, with a walkthrough for its second chapter, the Collapse Arc. This section details navigating the mysterious Mist Town, emphasizing the critical task of finding various items and saving its trapped residents, including characters like Mac and Rose's parent. The guide outlines a step-by-step path through locations like the different towers and explains how to utilize special warp paintings for quick travel, stressing the importance of completing these tasks to progress and avoid negative outcomes. Characters Meg and Lei are also mentioned as potential sources of help. This page features two distinct Sega Saturn titles. On the left, we explore Summer Color Memories Mahjong Edition, a game combining the strategic gameplay of Mahjong with a theme of nurturing idle hopefuls, presented as a fresh, idle 8-person Mahjong game. Quote, "The core premise involves leading a beautiful girl to idol stardom, with the final audition battle decided by your skill at Mahjong against the other contestants." Turning to the right, the focus is on the classic fighting game, World Heroes Perfect, as it arrives on the Sega Saturn. Originally a Neo Geo title, this version promises faithful fighting action. The coverage here delves into the game's system mechanics, highlighting features like the hero gauge, which powers up special moves, leading to stronger attacks and more dynamic gameplay. Screenshots showcase intense matches and character abilities, including prominent artwork of the Ninja Hanzo, encouraging players to explore the system and character roster. This page continues the look at World Heroes Perfect on the Sega Saturn, focusing on the impressive roster of 19 fighters who have gathered to compete. The layout presents profiles for each character, showcasing their unique designs, in-game screenshots demonstrating their moves, and brief descriptions of their fighting styles and backgrounds. The game brings together an incredibly diverse cast from across history and mythology, including the legendary Ninja Hanzo, figures like Genghis Khan and Joan of Arc, mythological beings like Zeus, and more unique characters like a cyborg, a pirate, and an American football player. The page is organized into themed sections highlighting specific rivalries or groups, such as Europe's Two Great Freaks, or Those Who Hold Grudges Against Heroes, adding context to the diverse matchups. This is essentially a guide to the playable characters, encouraging players to find their favorite among the varied and colorful lineup. This page provides an in-depth look at Dark Savior, focusing on its distinct mechanics and unique parallel scenario feature. Instead of a traditional experience point system, the game awards points for combat victories, which can be spent on various benefits like recovering health or permanently boosting stats. The article emphasizes the groundbreaking parallel world system, where your early choices and performance drastically alter the game's story and path, leading to multiple possible scenarios. Screenshots showcase the tactical isometric combat, the game's protagonist Ryu Ya, and key moments and locations across these different parallel timelines, highlighting the depth and replayability offered by this innovative design. This page presents an in-depth look at the adventure game based on the popular El Hazard series, titled El Hazard: The Magnificent World. The game features a multi-scenario system, where player choices significantly impact the story's progression, leading to different outcomes and character interactions. The narrative centers around the protagonists attempting to find a way back to their original world after being transported to El Hazard. While based on the existing anime/OVA story, the game incorporates an original storyline and introduces new characters designed specifically for this release. The page showcases various screenshots depicting character portraits during dialogue, event scenes, and exploration segments, highlighting the game's visuals. It also introduces the main cast of eccentric characters from the series, providing portraits and brief descriptions of their personalities and roles in the adventure. This page dives into the world of Lemmings 3D, showcasing how the classic puzzle game has made the leap into the third dimension. The article highlights the core gameplay remains the same, guiding the hapless lemmings to safety, but with the added challenge and complexity of a 3D environment. The page details the game's structure, featuring a massive 100 stages spread across 5 difficulty levels, promising hours of brain-teasing fun for both newcomers and series veterans. A major focus is on the new 3D perspective, explaining how players can control the camera to navigate the levels and strategically deploy skills, which are represented by familiar icons. Several of these essential skills are shown and described, such as the basher, blocker, floater, using a parachute, builder, and the ability to select individual lemmings for specific tasks or change the camera view to follow one closely. Screenshots throughout the article illustrate the gameplay from various camera angles, demonstrating the verticality and depth added by the 3D engine. There's also mention of new mechanics and items, like trampolines and warp points, designed to take advantage of the 3D space. The article also notes the inclusion of an opening CG movie that depicts the transition of the lemmings into their 3D forms. It seems the reviewer is impressed by the detailed visuals and the added strategic layer the 3D perspective brings to the beloved formula. This page showcases 2 arcade racing/action game packages making their way to the Sega Saturn. On the left, we have Taito Chase H.Q plus SC, bringing 2 classic arcade police car chase games together. Players take on the role of a police officer pursuing criminals in high-speed highway chases, using their vehicle and weapons to stop them. The page highlights the intense action and the thrill of apprehending culprits, packaging the original Chase HQ with its sequel, Special Criminal Investigation, C. The right side features Womangan Dead Heat plus Real Arrange, a revamped version of the high-speed street racing game. This release focuses on delivering a more realistic driving experience and introduces brand new female characters who can join you as passengers. The game offers multiple modes, including a scenario mode where the girls judge your driving, time trial challenges, and competitive battles. 5 featured actresses/models are shown, highlighting their inclusion as a key selling point. The release comes on 2 discs, with the second disc containing bonus video content featuring these women. This page highlights 2 distinct action titles coming to the Saturn. On the left is Death Crimson, presented as the second virtual gun-compatible software release. This game is an on-rails shooter where players take on hordes of monsters across diverse environments like city streets, jungles, and ancient ruins. A key feature is gaining experience points to power up weapons, which include various types like machine guns and missiles. Boss battles require players to locate weak points using a radar system displayed on screen. Featured on the right is Earthworm Jim 2, bringing the quirky American-born hero to the Saturn. This action platformer sees players guiding Jim through 10 bizarre stages filled with unique challenges. The game emphasizes using Jim's body in unusual ways for movement and combat, such as whipping enemies with his head or utilizing a parachute. Progression often involves solving small environmental puzzles, like using a pig to clear obstacles, in addition to standard platforming and combat. Screenshots showcase some of the varied level designs and gameplay mechanics encountered throughout the adventure. This page features 2 sports titles for the Saturn. On the left is Tournament Leader, a golf simulation featuring 4 real courses located in Scotland, known as the birthplace of golf. The game offers simplified controls, making it accessible for newcomers, with various camera angles to enhance the experience. On the right, we have Olympic Soccer 1996, recreating the excitement of the Atlanta Olympic Tournament. This game allows players to control national teams, with button timing influencing shot power and player actions. It includes multiple modes such as tournament play, based on the Olympic structure, a league mode, and exhibition matches, alongside flexible camera options for different views during gameplay. Both games seem to focus on bringing realistic sports experiences with user-friendly features. This page showcases 2 sports simulation games for the Sega Saturn. On the left, we have Slam Jam 96, featuring Magic and Kareem, a basketball game endorsed by NBA legends Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This title aims to capture the authentic feel of American basketball, allowing players to step into the shoes of Magic or choose from various teams. It features simple one-button controls for both offense and defense, making it easy to pick up, while still offering depth in shooting and passing. A unique role-playing mode lets players focus on controlling a single character strategically within the team. On the right is Japan Super Base Classic 96, a realistic fishing simulation game focusing on black bass. Supervised by real pro angler Katsuya Kawaguchi, The game features actual JB Pro competitors. Players participate in tournaments held at 6 different locations across Japan. The gameplay involves selecting your gear at the shop, choosing a spot on the lake map, casting with careful power timing, and engaging in a fight with the fish using tension management on the rod and reel. A practice mode allows players to hone their skills in various environmental conditions. It brings the thrill of competitive bass fishing to the console. This page showcases 2 mahjong games for the Sega Saturn. On the left is Galjan, an anime-style mahjong game featuring stripping scenes animated using rotoscoping for realistic movement, where players challenge 3 opponents in cute uniforms. On the right is Hanjin Menu Special, a simulation featuring real professional mahjong players certified by the Japan Professional Mahjong League, offering title match and free play modes with detailed rule options and performance tracking. This page presents 2 distinct games. On the left is Anu no Puzzle Game, a returning puzzle game featuring bombs and fire. This updated version boasts new features like improved chain reactions and a new Shin Susai system. The gameplay involves matching falling fuse lines and bombs to create explosions and clear blocks, with special items and 10 unique characters, each having their own abilities shown through various gameplay screenshots. On the right is Kiba Data Stable, a comprehensive horse racing database and simulation game. It contains extensive data on tens of thousands of racehorses from 1985 to 1996, allowing players to search detailed information on famous horses, ancestors, and race results. The game also includes a quiz mode to test knowledge, and a simulation mode, where players can create dream races with historical horses to see how they would perform. The page highlights the depth of information and the excitement of reliving or simulating historical races. This page features a unique blend of content, starting with an adult-oriented Playboy Karaoke collection on the left, available in 2 volumes. This software features video footage of playmates accompanying hit songs, catering to an adult audience interested in karaoke. The main focus, however, is a comprehensive review section titled Impression, dedicated to Sega Saturn games. This segment reviews 17 Saturn titles considered ideal companions for the summer holidays. 10 different reviewers, whose genre preferences are detailed in a chart, provide their feedback. The core of this section is a large table listing each game, including notable titles like Saturn Bomberman, Decathlete, Earthworm Jim 2, Tokimeki Memorial, and 3D Lemmings. Each game is rated by the 10 reviewers, using a point system and symbols indicating their desire to purchase the title, giving readers a clear overview of how the games were received by a panel of diverse tastes. This page continues the Now on Sale Saturn Soft Impression section from the previous page, focusing on titles released between August 3rd and 23rd. The magazine highlights that 17 games are launching during this period, with the adventure game Dukyusei If being the most anticipated title, even surpassing popular ports like Knights and Earthworm Jim 2 in reader popularity. The page features reviews for 5 games. Saturn Bomberman scores a 7.5, praised for its massive 10-player battle mode, though some found the presentation a bit excessive. Death Crimson, a 3D light gun game, receives a low 4.4 score, with reviewers finding its atmosphere bad and the gameplay unreasonable. World Heroes Perfect, the fighting game port, gets a 6.5. While considered a somewhat rough port, the transfer quality is good, and it's seen as enjoyable in versus mode. WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, scores 5.7, reviewed more as a character experience than a technical fighter, with some feeling it didn't fully capture the charm of the wrestlers. Finally, the highly anticipated Dukyusei If, a Bishoujo adventure game, earns an impressive 8.1, lauded for its beautiful graphics and feeling more like an original work than a simple port. The reviewers clearly enjoyed this title the most, recommending it for fans of the genre. This page continues the Now on Sale Saturn Soft Impression section, reviewing 5 more games that hit the shelves. First up is Albert Odyssey Gaiden Legend of Eldian, a traditional RPG that scored 7.1. Reviewers praised its strong combination of music, graphics, and scenario, noting its solid game balance and classic feel reminiscent of older Super Famicom RPGs. Next is Shin Kido Senki Gundam W, Endless Duel, a fighting game port rated 7.0. It's highlighted for its smooth animation and balanced characters, offering a decent versus mode experience. The arcade port of Taito Chase H.Q Plus SC received a 6.0. It successfully captures the feel of the arcade racing action, with good sound reproduction and enjoyable high-speed chases. Earthworm Jim 2 is reviewed with a 5.7 score. This overseas action puzzle title is noted for its unique style and varied stages, though some found the gameplay occasionally frustrating or overly complex for a casual pickup. Finally, the adventure title Nightruth Explanation of the Paranormal scored 4.7. While the prologue and multi-scenario structure were intriguing, reviewers felt the pacing was inconsistent, particularly in the later parts, leading to a less satisfying overall experience. The page features screenshots and character artwork accompanying each review, giving a visual overview of the games discussed. The review section presents 5 Saturn game assessments. Wangan Dead Heat plus Real Arrange, a racing game, receives a 6.0, potentially prioritizing visual appeal over gameplay. Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Slam Jam 96, 5.6, disappointed with its depiction of basketball action. Galjon, a mahjong game with anime girls, scored a 5.4, criticized for its lack of depth. 3D Lemmings 5.6 offered addictive puzzle gameplay despite initially challenging controls. Also noted is a special Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner box set. Playboy Karaoke Volume 1 and Volume 2 is questioned for its content. Keiba Data Stable, a horse racing data tool, and Japan Super Bass Classic 96, a bass fishing simulator, round out the featured titles. This page features more impression, game reviews, and a roundtable discussion. First reviewed is Honkaku Pro Mahjong Tokuman, a professional mahjong simulation that scores a solid 6.0, praised for realistically capturing the feel of playing against pros. Following that is Tournament Leader, a golf simulation with polygon graphics, which received a 5.4. The review suggests the multiplayer mode might be its strongest point, focusing on realistic ball trajectory and simulation aspects. The bulk of the page is a roundtable discussion, where reviewers share their thoughts on various games. They touch upon the Chowdick multiplayer fun of Saturn Bomberman, the wrestling action of a WWF game, likely WWF in your house based on the visual, the unique platforming of Earthworm Jim 2, the classic RPG elements of Albert Odyssey, and the character-driven narrative of the dating sim DocuSay 2. The discussion offers a range of opinions on these diverse titles available on the system. This page dives into the Hyper Ultech section, offering valuable tips and secrets for various Sega Saturn titles to help players excel. The focus is on enhancing gameplay and uncovering hidden content. Featured games include Athlete Kings, where players can find tips on changing perspectives during events, mastering the power gauge, and even learning new running techniques. For Mahjong Mania, Cebu Island 96, there are secrets revealed for unlocking special hidden images. Pachislo Great Strategy. Cranky Condor players are given advice on hitting a long chain of big wins. The page also offers a tip for achieving first place in the shooter Shippu, Maho Daisakusen, and how to uncover hidden characters in Strikers 1945. For fans of simulation games, there's a trick to expanding text input options in Birthsuck's debut, and an easy way to change backgrounds in Aquazone. Finally, the Sega H's release of Space Harrier gets coverage with tips for accessing hidden menu options and an arcade mode. The section encourages readers to submit their own tips for a chance to win prizes, highlighting the community aspect of discovering game secrets. There's also a call for submissions of tips for other Sega systems like the Super 32X and Mega Drive. This page jumps into the action of the 3D fighting game, Last Bronx. It continues the coverage from the previous issue, presenting the remaining unique character techniques to complete the full command list. The page includes detailed move breakdowns for characters such as Yusaku, Nagi, Tommy, Joe, Yoko, Kurosawa, Lisa, and Zaimoku, detailing their various attacks and special moves. Highlighting specific techniques, the page features spotlights with screenshots for Yusaku's low leg breaker, Joe's dangerous updraft shot with nunchaku, Yoko's combo-ending air raid special, Nagi's extensive spin kick hysteric combo, Kurosawa's cancelable slant attack, and Zaimoku's two-hit rave hammer. Beyond the move lists, the magazine challenges readers to uncover and submit any hidden commands they find still present in the game. There's also an urgent call for fans to participate in a Last Bronx popular character contest, where readers can vote for their favorite fighter via postcard for a chance to win exclusive original t-shirts or a demo disc. This page dives into the world of software development for the PC Engine with the Develo series, specifically highlighting the second release focused on basic programming. This kit is presented as a way for game players to become game creators, offering tools for graphics and music to help beginners craft their own PC Engine games. There's an order form included if you're ready to jump in. The page also launches a brand new series, SEGA Saturn Network's Navigator, which aims to guide users through the early days of online connectivity on the console. This first installment tackles the basics of getting online, explaining what the Saturn's network capabilities offer, such as browsing the web, albeit limited, and discussing the process of setting up an internet provider connection. It even shows a screenshot of the Saturn's network interface. It's fascinating to see how Sega was pushing the boundaries of console functionality with networking during this era, even if the services were just starting out. They explain key internet terms and services, available or not available, through the Saturn's connection. This page kicks off with a coming soon section, highlighting upcoming releases and mentioning summer events leading up to the Tokyo Game Show, starting on August 22nd. First up is Winning Post 2 Program 96, an updated version of the horse racing simulation. This release focuses on incorporating the latest data from the 1996 racing season and the Japan Racing Association's program changes, adding new jockeys and horses. The game puts you in the role of a stable owner with 200 million yen to acquire horses and hire staff, including secretaries like the ones shown here. Next is Shell Shock, a 3D tank shooter where you command your tank and crew to take down enemies. The reviewer notes it feels different from typical military games, with cool hip-hop BGM and tough missions. There's a fascinating system shown where completing missions earns rewards to enhance your tank's weaponry and armor, allowing you to customize your vehicle for battle. Finally, we see Real Bout Fatal Fury, the latest entry in the popular fighting series. Building on Fatal Fury 3, this game streamlines controls and updates characters, making the combat more focused and intense. The page mentions it utilizes the expanded RAM cartridge for enhanced performance, and notes that the Saturn version's controller is well suited for executing special moves. This page kicks off with more coming soon titles. First up is the classic arcade racer Outrun as part of the Sega Ages series. It's highlighted as a complete port of the original, featuring all 15 iconic courses with their branching paths leading to 5 different endings. A cool feature mentioned is the choice of music versions, including arrangements from the hit soundtrack CD. Next, we see My Dream, a simulation game focused on voice actors. The page introduces 8 of the main characters appearing in the game, hinting at the various personalities you'll encounter in this unique title. Below that is Ninja Jajamaru-kun, Onigiri Ninpocho, bringing the classic ninja series into 3D action. This new installment features the familiar protagonist in a quest to rescue a captured princess, and the page teases the reveal of its opening movie. Finally, there's Tri-Rush Deppy, an action game where you play as the character Deppy. The gameplay revolves around journeying across stages reminiscent of a race from New York to Los Angeles, with a core mechanic of pressing and holding the attack button to charge power for stronger hits, essential for taking down the stage bosses. The page shows off some colorful stages and the exciting boss battles. This page continues with more exciting coming soon titles for the Sega Saturn. First up is Oppo Nashi Girls, or Inposu Heart, a simulation game where you can summon a total of 20 different girls from 4 distinct worlds. The game features charming character designs and hints at tactical battles, where the strength of your summoned girls varies depending on how you pair them. Next, we dive into the historical strategy of romance of the 3 Kingdoms versus. This latest installment challenges you to unify ancient China through strategic planning and military might. The game focuses on developing your territories through internal affairs and engaging in detailed battles, with various unit formations and tactical options available. Below that is Joshi Kosei no Hokago, Pukupua, a puzzle game centered around high school girls. The core gameplay involves matching falling blocks or orbs, with the game highlighting the characters' dynamic facial expressions that change based on the player's progress and performance. Finally, the page teases Battle Arena to Shinden Ura. This fighting game features familiar faces like Tracy and Iji, and promises flashy special moves and the introduction of new characters to the roster, building on the series' reputation for intense 3D combat. This page continues with upcoming Sega Saturn releases. First up is Waku Waku 7, a vibrant fighting game ported from the Neo Geo. It features 7 unique characters battling in zoom-in-out arenas, where gathering Waku Waku balls powers up devastating special moves. Next is Taikyoku Shogi Kyoku 2, a detailed shogi simulation adapted from a PC game. It boasts a strong AI, robust features like move prediction, and various challenge modes for players to test their skills against the computer or others. Below that, we see Heiwa Pachinko Sao Shingeki, a simulation game dedicated to the popular Japanese arcade game, Pachinko. It lets players experience various models from the manufacturer Heiwa, practice strategies, and enjoy the thrill of hitting jackpots. Moving on, Stake Winner's Big One is presented, an action and simulation title based on arcade horse racing. The Saturn version enhances the experience with a powered-up training mode, allowing players to nurture their horses through different types of training to improve their stats for races. Finally, the page previews Rensaku, a unique blend of puzzle game and romance simulation. Players match colored rings in a puzzle section, which ties into a dating sim, where giving presents via a roulette system elicits different reactions from the game's female characters. The page also introduces the main heroines. This page features a look at several more upcoming Sega Saturn titles. First, we have Yellow Brick Road, an adventure game drawing inspiration from the classic story, The Wizard of Oz. Players explore the world along the iconic path, meeting familiar characters like the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion who join the quest. Next is Starfighter 3000, a 3D space combat simulation. The game focuses on piloting various spacecraft, utilizing different weapon systems, and completing diverse missions. The tactical map and radar are highlighted as essential tools for success in combat scenarios. Following that is Alien Trilogy, a first-person shooter based on the popular film series. Players will battle hordes of terrifying aliens, including facehuggers, dog aliens, and warriors, in atmospheric environments reminiscent of the movies, such as the colony on LV-426. Finally, the page previews Haunted Casino, a unique table game experience. This title blends gambling with a supernatural theme, where players face off against enchanting creatures, aiming to defeat them and seal them into cards. The game features striking character designs, such as Rin and Pamela, which are a prominent visual element. This page dives into the excitement of the Tokyo Game Show '96, highlighting the upcoming event as a must-see festival for gamers, held from August 22nd to 24th at Tokyo Big Sight. It promises attendees the chance to see, touch, and fully experience the latest games, particularly focusing on unreleased Saturn titles. The page points out key attractions within the show, including various events at different publisher booths, opportunities to meet celebrities and voice actors, and chances to snag premium game merchandise. There's even mention of cosplay events, including a contest and parade, illustrated by an image of a cosplayer. The image of popular game characters like Bomberman, Knights, and others hints at the wide array of titles being showcased. Access information and ticket prices are also detailed for those planning to attend. Crucially, the page provides a comprehensive list of Sega Saturn titles being exhibited at the show. This extensive table categorizes games by genre and indicates their exhibition format, letting attendees know which games will be playable demos, video demos, or other presentations. The list features a vast lineup covering genres from action and racing to simulation and RPG, including major releases such as Daytona USA Circuit Edition, Virtua Fighter, Bomberman, and the highly anticipated Nights into Dreams. Additionally, a section covers the latest title trends revealed at the show, previewing new announcements like NHL Powerplay 96, Grid Runner, and Hyper 3D Pinball, giving readers a glimpse into the future Saturn lineup. This page serves as an exciting, latest status report on highly anticipated software releases, giving readers a sneak peek at what's coming and what to look forward to, especially with the Tokyo Game Show just around the corner. It's packed with previews for over a dozen upcoming titles across various genres, complete with screenshots or character art and an expectation % rating from the magazine staff or potentially readers. You'll find updates on major sequels like Virtua Cop 2 and Real Bout Fatal Fury, showcasing improved graphics and intense action. Fan favorites are returning, such as Street Fighter Alpha 2, bringing its classic fighting style, and highly anticipated RPGs like Lunar, Silver Star Story and Langrisser 2 are getting significant buzz. There are also previews for unique titles like Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Puzzle Dama, which garnered an impressive 98% expectation rating, suggesting it's already a hit with the staff. Other titles cover diverse areas, like Simulation with Sakura Wars, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms V, and adventure games like Jake Hunter Detective Story. The report gives brief insights into development status, developer comments, and reasons for excitement, acting as a valuable guide to the immediate future of the platform's software lineup. This page presents the crucial new production sale calendar, laying out the upcoming software releases for both the Sega Saturn and the Game Gear. It's organized by month, starting from August and looking ahead into the following year, along with a section for titles still awaiting a firm date. This provides players with key details like developers, publishers, and pricing for the games they are looking forward to. The calendar features a strong lineup, including major hits like Virtua Fighter Remix and Panzer Dragoon, popular sequels such as Virtua Cop 2 and Virtua Fighter 2, and entries from major fighting franchises like Street Fighter Alpha 2 and the King of Fighters 95. Highly anticipated RPGs like Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Langrisser 2 are also listed, many of which were recently previewed. This detailed schedule confirms release windows for a wide variety of genres, from intense action and fighting games to deep RPGs and simulations. There's even a small but important section dedicated to the Game Gear, featuring titles like Sonic the Hedgehog. This calendar is essential for any player planning their future game purchases. This page features a preview of the next issue on the left, teasing upcoming features including coverage of Cyber Troopers Virtualon and Fighting Vipers, alongside mentions of the Tokyo Game Show 96. The right side is dominated by a large advertisement for the Sega Saturn title, Beauty and Drift, Wangan Dead Heat plus Real Arrange. This racing game promises enhanced drift mechanics and impressive visuals, highlighted by in-game screenshots. A key selling point is the beauty aspect, featuring female characters prominently, including a bonus disc with content related to them. The ad promotes the game's 2-disc set and compatibility with the Sega Saturn's video CD function for higher quality visuals. The advertisement clearly states the game is scheduled for release on August 9th. This page features an announcement for the Sega Saturn title, Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, The Blue Destiny. The page is dominated by striking artwork of a Gundam mobile suit against a moonlit sky, alongside screenshots showcasing the game's 3D action gameplay. The game is described as featuring dramatic scenarios based on the One-Year War. Volume 1, titled The Shivering Blue, is scheduled for release in September 1996 in Japan for 4,800 yen. This is presented as the first part of a trilogy, with Volume 2, Those Who Inherit the Blue, and Volume 3, Those Who Are Judged, planned for release later, completing the series. The project features original mobile suit designs by Kunio Okawara. The text on the left conveys a sense of destiny and conflict, stating, "Wishing for the dawn, they headed towards the endless battlefield."